good to see you again. Today I brought a lamb to help me read this story. And a lamb, if you remember, is a baby sheep. And look how cute she is. She even has little eyelashes for my friends that pay attention to stuff like that. And I believe somewhere around the house she has clothes. So if I find the clothes for my little baby lamb, I will dress her for next time, because I know I have some friends that would really like that. So there's my lamb. And I also brought my book bag, the Winnie the Pooh storybook collection for you. And the one I picked out today is Pooh's Neighborhood. And we, all of my friends at Bell Valley, should know all about Pooh's. Actually, all the boys and girls at all the pre-Ks all across Mill Creek should know all about neighborhoods, because that's what we were studying, all about neighborhoods. And we were creating our own neighborhoods, and they were hanging on, we had neighborhoods on our bulletin boards. So this is called Pooh's Neighborhood. And here's our friend Pooh, and here's our friend Owl. So let's see what adventures Pooh is going to have today. I say, it's a splendid day in the neighborhood, cried Owl. It's a nice day here too, said Winnie the Pooh. That's exactly what I'm saying, said Owl. A perfectly splendid day in the neighborhood. Which neighborhood are we talking about? Asked Pooh. See, you can tell Pooh hasn't been to preschool yet, because he doesn't know what a neighborhood is. He was calling it a neighborhood. Silly Pooh. Neighborhood, said Owl. Our neighborhood. The place where we live and where all our neighbors live and are neighborly. Oh, said Pooh. It is a splendid day in it, isn't it? So Owl is like the teacher. He's the teacher in the 100-acre wood. Quite, said Owl. Now I'm off for an owl's eye view. He flew up and circled once around Pooh's house. What does it look like from up there? Called Pooh. I can see the 100-acre wood spread out below me, said Owl. And it's a fine place indeed. As Owl flew off, Pooh began to think about what it means to live in a neighborhood, and he thought perhaps he would bring a neighborly present to his closest neighbor, Piglet. Pooh went inside his house and took a honey pot out of his cupboard. He tied a nice blue ribbon around it. That's a very nice thing to do. Give a present to your neighbor. Sometimes when you have a new neighbor move in, you might drop off some brownies or a little gift or something, maybe a plant to a new neighbor to make them feel welcome. Then he tucked it comfortably under his arm and started down the path toward Piglet's house. But when he reached his thoughtful spot, which is halfway between his house and Piglet's, Pooh suddenly had a thought. I could take this path straight to Piglet's house, or I could go up the path and around the whole neighborhood. And sooner or later, the path would take me to Piglet's house. Anyway, that's what he did. So Pooh is going to take a walk around his neighborhood. There's a good idea for you. Maybe later on today, you and a grown-up could take a walk around your neighborhood. After he had walked for a time, he came to the house where Kanga and Roo lived. Hello, Kanga, said Pooh. I'm just on my way to deliver this neighborly present to Piglet. But Pooh, dear, Piglet lives that way, said Kanga, pointing down the very path by which Pooh had just come. Yes, said Pooh, but today I'm going the long way. Oh, I see, said Kanga. In that case, perhaps you should join us for a snack. Come on, Pooh cried. Roo, we're going to the picnic spot. So one of Pooh's neighbors are Kanga and Roo. So he saw Kanga and Roo on his walk. Pooh said he was feeling a bit rumbly in his tumbly. So they all went together past the sandy pit where Roo plays up to the picnic spot to share a little something. Half an hour and one picnic basket later, Pooh thanked Kanga and Roo, tucked Piglet's honey pot back under his arm, and walked down the path toward Rabbit's house. Hello, Rabbit, called Pooh. I'm on my way to Piglet's to give him his neighborly present. If you're going to Piglet's house, what are you doing here? Asked Rabbit. I'm going the long way, said Pooh. More like the wrong way, if you ask me, said Rabbit. But since you're here, would you mind taking these carrots to Christopher Robin? I'd promised he'd have them in time for lunch. Well, at the mention of the word lunch, Pooh noticed that his tummy was feeling just the tiniest bit rumbly again. I'd be happy to, he said. So Pooh ran into Rabbit, and when he ran into Rabbit, now he's able to take those carrots to his friend Christopher Robin, who also lives in his neighborhood. With the carrots under one arm and the honey pot under the other, Pooh walked along until he came to the place where the stepping stones crossed the stream. 1, 2, 3, 4, he counted as he teetered from stone to stone. 8 or 9 of Rabbit's friends and family heard Pooh and peeked out of their windows and doors. Pooh shouted, "Hello!" and Rabbit's friends and family waved. There's an idea that you can do when you're walking up steps or walking along. You can count your steps as well, because that can help you with your counting skills, just as it was helping Pooh. Pooh marched across open slopes of heather and up steep banks of sandstone until at last, tired and hungry, he arrived at Christopher Robin's door. "Oh, my carrots!" cried Christopher Robin happily. "Thank you for delivering them." "It seemed the neighborly thing to do," said Pooh proudly. "Would you like to join me for lunch?" Christopher Robin asked, and Pooh said, "Well, I'm really on my way to Piglet's to bring him a present, but I don't see why I couldn't stop for just a little while." After lunch and a longish snooze, Pooh was back on his way. He walked down the path through the little pine wood and climbed over the gate into Eeyore's gloomy place, which was where Eeyore lived. "Hello, Eeyore," said Pooh. "I was just on my way to Piglet's house with this neighborly present." "Not coming to visit me," said Eeyore. "I didn't think so. It's been such a busy week already. Why, only 4 days ago, Tigger bounced by me on his way to the swimming hole. How many visitors can one expect, really?" Look at Eeyore. He's so sad. He even has a rain cloud over his head. And Pooh, feeling rather bad now, offered Eeyore a nice lick of honey. Pooh put the jar down and Eeyore peered in. He looked back up at Pooh. Pooh peered in. "Empty," he said. "That's what it looked like to me," said Eeyore. "Oh, bother," said Pooh. He walked off glumly, trying to figure out how he was going to tell Piglet that the neighborly present Piglet was not going to get because it was all empty. Pooh had almost arrived at the place where the woozle wasn't and was deciding to take the long path around it, just in case the woozle was, when he saw Owl flying over. "I've seen our whole neighborhood today," Pooh told him, "but now I have no neighborly present left for Piglet." "The bees have been quite busy at the old bee tree lately," said Owl. "Perhaps you can fill it up there." "That's a good idea, but it's such a long way." "Come along," said Owl, "and we'll take a shortcut through the woods." So Pooh had visited all his friends, and he had shared all his honey with all these friends. So he had no honey in his honey pot to share with Piglet. But now he's going to the bee tree to see if he can find some more with Owl. Let's see what happens there. So they walked together until they came to an open place in the middle of the forest. And in the middle of this place was the old bee tree. And Pooh could hear a loud buzzing near the top. Up, up, up he climbed. "Go up higher," called Owl, "past the bees to the very top of the tree. Now look all around. And what do you see?" Look at all those bees buzzing around the old bee tree. What do you think he's going to see when he goes up to the top of that tree? I wonder. Oh, look at that. The 100-acre wood was spread out below him. Our neighborhood! "This looks like many of our neighborhoods we had in our classrooms," cried Pooh. "Our beautiful homes. That's the owl's eye view," said Owl grandly. "Oh, I can see poor Piglet out sweeping his walk," said Pooh. "It looks like he could use some company." So here's the 100-acre wood. So there's the place for picnics. There's Rabbit's house. There's Roo and Kanga's house, and the bee tree, and the sandy pit where Roo likes to play, and Pooh's house, and Piglet's house. That's why he said he took the long way, because he only had to go from here to Piglet's house. But he went all the way around here, because there's Rabbit's friends and family. Then he went to Christopher Robin's house, and then he went to Eeyore's gloomy place, and Owl's house, and then the Woozles, where the Woozles supposedly live. And then there's Piglet's house. So that is Pooh's neighborhood right there. The owl's eye view. So Pooh filled the honey pot once more, and he and Owl went to Piglet's house for supper. The end. So as I said, maybe today you can take a grown-up with you and go for a walk around your neighborhood. And when you're done, maybe you can make your own little map here of your neighborhood. That would be a fun activity to do for today. Okay, it was nice to see you again. I'll see you next time. Bye, friends.